Okay, these two packets, tear this one off. That's your cheat sheet you can use on the final. Okay. So we're going to start with this one, graphing quadratic equations. We know it's a quadratic equation when it has x to the second. So that's an A, B, C, A, H, K. So this is an A, a B, and a C. So we know to get this graphed accurately, at least semi-accurately, we need three coordinates, the middle being the vertex. Because a quadratic equation goes like that, as a U. Okay, so to find the vertex, it's opposite of B divided by 2 times A. So opposite of B, that's 8, 2 times 2, that's going to be 4, and then 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, and I just go 3, 1, then we substitute those inputs, they're called inputs, you put them into the calculator, and the results you get are -5, -7, and -5 again. So I go forward 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, 3, be down 7, and then the other one's back to 5. Okay, number 2, now it's AHK. Now you're still going to make 3 coordinates, okay? Okay, now in the vertex, you just take the opposite of H. That's all you do. Okay, remember we said H always has the opposite effect on X. Okay, opposite of H, -2. Then -1, -3, and then you substitute those into the calculator as well. And the results I get are -9, -5, and -9. So you go back 1, down all the way to 9. Back 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back 3, back down at 9. Remember, if A is positive like it was on number 1, it's going to be right side up. If A is negative, it goes upside down. Okay, not doing anything there. Now solving. You've got to label what you have. You have an A and a B. Okay, A, B, you're equal to 0. You are GCF. Okay, 5 and 25 have a GCF of 5, and then you have this x at the B is your last term, and it has x, whatever's there. Okay, so that's F1. Okay, F1, F2. Then you actually go do the division. It's like you're doing the opposite of distributed property here. It's going to be 1x plus 5, and that's my F2. Okay, so 5 times x could equal 0, or 1x plus 5 could equal 0. So I divide each side of the equation by 5. There I get 0. Subtract 5, we get -5, and then just -5. Okay. Number 8, 3x to the second power plus 2 equals 56. Okay. So all these have 2 answers. You got A, C, and C. Okay, you get the A terms on one side, the C terms on the other. So the A terms where we want it, but the C's have to be combined on the other side, and that's 54. Okay, now divide if needed. It's needed. We divide by 3. Square root to get rid of your second power. Okay, but you need to simplify the square root appropriately on no decimals. Okay. Okay, 18 divided by 9 is 2. Look at the board. So it'd be 3 square root of 2. Okay. Okay, number 9, x to the second power minus 3x minus 54 equals 0. Okay, this one's got an A, a B, and a C. So A, B, C. First you have to apply your discriminant. Okay, so B is -3, and then 4, A is 1, C is -54. Then you take -3 times itself, that's 9, then 4 times 1 times -54 gives me a fairly large product, and that fairly large product is -216. Plus, Add that, you get 225. Now the square root of 225 is 15. That's a whole number, so I expect if you get a whole number, you're using factoring, putting it into two parentheses where you can do F1, factor 1, factor 2. Okay, GCF, and then we have to make our table. Okay, 1's a GCF, and then C doesn't have X at the end, so out. 1 times negative 54 is negative 54, so we need one of each factor. Okay, we're adding to try to get to negative 3. Okay, and then we know we're going to find something because we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't. Divide by 2 is a decimal. 54 divided by 3 is 18. Nope. 54 divided by 4 is a decimal, 54 divided by 5 is a decimal, 54 divided by 6 is 9. Okay, if I add those, it adds to negative 3. Okay, they multiply to negative 54 and they add to negative 3. Okay, so A is 1x to the second. So we know x to the second is x times x. Now the 1 we can just eliminate and not worry, so I just make two parentheses with x and x. Plus 6 minus 9, and then F1, F2. So x plus 6 could equal 0, or x minus 9 could equal 0. So you get negative 6 and positive 9. Okay, number 10, x to the second power plus 10x minus 10 equals 0. So A, B, and C. Okay, so again, make sure you're equal to 0, of course, then you have to apply the discriminant. Okay, B is 10, A is 1, C is negative 10. 10 times itself is going to give me 100. 4 times 1 times negative 10 is negative 40. Square root of 140 is an irrational decimal, so I'm going to put IR, it's not whole. And then I square root it on a calculator, it's approximately 11.83. Okay. So, irrational decimal you can't factor, you have to go to the quadratic formula. Now you're going to be able to need to add and subtract around the decimal and divide on the quadratic formula. Okay. Opposite of B, negative 10, plus or minus the square root, B squared minus 4AC. B squared minus 4AC, which is 11.83. Just found it, over 2a, 2 times 1. Now you need to add and divide. You don't have an I there, so you're going to add, click equals and divide. The first answer you come up with is 0.92, and then when you subtract and divide, it's negative 10.92. Okay, next one, number 11. 5x to the second power minus 18x plus 9 equals 0. So we have two answers, as all quadratics do. Okay, ABC, apply your discriminant. So B, negative 18, and then 4. AC, A is going to be 5, C is going to be 9. Negative 18 times negative 18 is 324, and then 4 times 5 times 9 is 180. 324 minus 180 is 144, which actually is a perfect square root. If you square root it, it equals 12. Okay, so you got a whole number. 12 is a whole number. So if you got a whole number, you're going to factor and do the table. To factor, I need to see the two parentheses. Okay, GCF, well, out of that group it's 1, and then there's not an x in the final term, so can't do x. 5 times 9 is 45. Now it's positive, so you need two of the same sign to make a positive. Either double negative or double positive. Well, probably double negative because it's negative 18. So 1 and 45, that's negative 46 when added. Divide by 2 is a decimal, and then 45 divided by 3 is 15. There's your negative 18. So A is 5x to the second. So remember, x to the second is x times x, but what are we going to do with that 5? We can't just get rid of it. So I make two sets of parentheses. equals 0. And I start with 5, x, x. Now I'm not going to keep them both at 5. And then minus 3, minus 15. So 5 and 3 would stay the same. You can't do anything with that. And you can use that multiplication table. 5 and 15, okay, those could each be divided by 5. And that would be 1x or x minus 3. And there's the factorization for the original expression. F1, F2. So 5x minus 3 could equal 0, or 1x minus 3 could equal 0. So you add 3. 5x equals 3. Divide by 5, that's 0.6. You can write that, or you can just write 3/5, then plus 3. And you get 3 divided by 1, still 3. 3/5 and 3. Okay, number 12. This is a quadratic equation. It's just not an A, B, C. It's an A, an H, and a K. So H, K. You want to set up a table with your equal signs. And what you put there, you got to remember this, that you put in the quadratic expression, which is x plus 5. Okay, replace the inside of the quadratic with h to the second. Okay, 4 and then equals 36. Okay, isolate h second. That's easy. You just need to divide by the 4. Find the square root by you got to undo the second power. So the square root of 9 is perfect. It's 3. Okay, you don't need to make the double square roots when it's the number. Okay, go back to the table and solve the equations. That says equations down there. So 3, negative 3. So I subtract 5. 3 minus 5 is negative 2. Minus 5, and you get negative 8. Okay, next one, number 13. The cheat sheet's not going to help you on 13. You got to know how to do this, okay? Fill out the equation of the quadratic. So you need to find your A, your H, and your K. Well, A is the hardest, so let's solve for A. Now, to solve for A in a parabola, I need 2 points, okay? The vertex is 1 point. That's your HK. So that's 5, 5. Forward 5, up 5. Then XY, let's go with this one. So that's going to be, when I go that route, okay, that's going to be forward 7, up 3. Okay, so Y is replaced with 3, and then A times, and then it says X minus H. We don't put a number in for A because that's what we're solving for. X minus H, so it's going to be 7 minus 5 to the second power, don't forget that, and then plus K. K we know is 5. You just put all of those values into the quadratic equation. Now, go down here then. This is here for you. You drop the 3, and then you know you got plus 5. Now to find what the A multiplying number is, it's A times parentheses 7 minus 5 to the second. So we got to figure out what 7 minus 5 to the second is. Well, that's 2. 2 to the second is 4. So 4. Now A is over here, so we take out the 5. 3 minus 5 is negative 2 equals 4 times A. Then we divide by the coefficient. Now, that decimal is okay to write because it ends. Negative 0.5, you can go negative 2/4, negative 1/2. I don't really care, okay? And then H and K is already over there. So H is 5, K is 5. Now fill it out without the AHK with the values in their place. So negative 3/4, quantity x minus 5 to the second plus 5. It's 2/4, not 3/4, sorry. 2/4. Okay, story problem time. An electronics store sells 70 of a new model of camera at a price of $320. For each $20 decrease in price, 5 more cameras per month are sold. What's the maximum revenue the store can raise following this procedure? Okay, maximum, you know the game, or should know it. Okay, to find the maximum, I'm going to need an equation, okay? And from that equation, once I get it down, it's opposite of B divided by 2 times A. I've got that information on the back side, okay? Applications, word problems, whatever. Maximum, you got to know this. Then you need to write out a simplified equation to find the vertex from, okay? If you're not finding another point, and that's not the maximum, I would go this route. Okay, units, parabola, you got to mark the starting point, write the equation, and substitute is what that says. Given value and use properties to solve. Okay, we're finding the maximum. So opposite of B divided by 2 times A. I already wrote it. Equation, this is revenue. Revenue equals, okay, dollars, items. Fill out the dollars factor first. You go find the dollars, 20, okay. Now, so that means you started with 320, and then 20 decrease means you minus 20. So then you get to 300, then you get to 280, and you just do it over and over and over again, okay. Do that enough, just do it 4 times, okay. Now you should know how to write the factor. You started with 320, then you're minusing 20 over and over, so it's 20x. Then the items, okay, so these are done. Here are my items, 70 and 5, 5 more. So every time that minus is 20, this is adding 5, 75, 80, 85, okay, and that's probably good enough. Just do it 3 times. So 70 plus 5x. Now we need to simplify we need to find the product here to get an A and a B. So I need to use my FOIL method. It's 2 by 2, so 320 times 70. 320 times 5x. Negative 20x times 70. And then negative 20x times 5x. Okay, this multiplies to 22,400. This multiplies to 1,600x. This multiplies to negative 1,400x. And this one multiplies to negative 100 with x to the second. Now it's simplified. I just need to write it out. So negative 100 is my x to the second. That's an A. Combine the like terms of x. That's 200. That's your B. You add those. And then 22,400. Okay. B, C, then you jump up here. You're not using factoring or the quadratic formula, none of that. You just get your simplified equation. Opposite of B is negative 200, and then 2 times negative 100 is negative 200. Then you divide and you get 1. So I guess you only have to do 1 price change, and if you do it a second time, then your revenue starts to go down. Then to find the maximum, it says price change, by the way. To find your maximum revenue, you substitute 1 into the equation for x. And when I do this, I come out with a maximum revenue, or a Y or R, of $22,500. Okay. Next problem, number 15. An object is launched from a height of 15 feet. It travels through the air at an initial velocity of 120 feet per second. Find the maximum height, so there's maximum. Okay. So opposite of B divided by 2 times A. Then you're just replacing. Okay. Now, this is the gravity. Gravity's easy. You don't have to simplify it because once it's there, it's there. Blank x second plus blank x plus blank equals y. Negative 16. And then the gravity, the feet per second, is 120. And then the starting height is 15. So your ABC's right there. You don't have to FOIL. Opposite of B is negative 120. 2 times negative 16 is negative 32. Then we divide and find the quotient. We get 3.75. Now that's the seconds it took to get to the max height. To find the maximum height, we plug that into the equation for x. And when I do that, I get a result of 200, an output. The input's 3.75, and the output is 240. Okay, so 240 feet. Okay, 15b. An object is launched from a height of 15 feet. It travels through the air at an initial velocity of 120 feet per second. How high is the object after 5 seconds? Now you're finding another point that's not on the maximum, okay? So I would suggest you go here, feet and seconds. Seconds is x, feet is y. Then per, feet per second. The feet per second amount is 120. Now it's not a slope, it's not a linear equation, I just jumped to a parabola. Starts at 15 feet. Okay. So my equation, gravity is a very easy equation to write out. Okay. Remember, equals y at the end, please. Okay. Function needs two variables, an x and a y. 120, then 15. All right, now 5 seconds. Now is that an input or is that an output? Well, seconds is x, so that's going to be an input. Okay, it goes in there. Negative 16, parentheses 5 second, plus 120, input 5, plus 15 equals output y. Output's always what you're equal to. Okay, plug that in and you come up with your answer, which is 215. So 215 feet. Okay, last one in this packet. An object is launched from a height of 15 feet. It travels through the air at a initial velocity of 120 feet per second. Find the time it takes the object to land 20 feet above the ground. Okay. Feet, seconds, it's the same stuff. X is seconds, Y is feet. And feet per second ends up at 120 times X. Okay, so you got 15 feet at the beginning. In the equation, I made that way bigger than I needed to. Okay, negative 16, 120, and 15. Now, this time they give me 20 feet. What they did was give me the y output. It's y. So 20 goes in for y. Okay, now you got to find the inputs that would give you the output of 20. Well, x is the letter you're solving for. It's to the second power, so there's two different inputs that give me 120. Okay. Then A, B, C, C. A, B, C, okay. Oh, one thing on an ABC, you got to have it equal to 0. Sorry, I didn't put that. ABC has to be equal to 0. I didn't put that. But, so we have to get 20 out of there. Add that to your little sheet, okay? ABC, you have to have it equal to 0. So minus 20. So negative 16x squared plus 120x minus 5 equals 0. And then it's discriminant time to see what I do next. What you do next is kind of a mystery. That's why this goes. Okay, so B 120, and then 4A is going to be negative 16, and C is negative 5. Okay, 120 times 120 is 14,400. 14,400, 14,400. Then I find the product of the 3, it's going to be 320. When I subtract, I get 14,080, and when I find the square root, it's 118.66. So obviously I'm going to use quadratic formula because I got an irrational decimal. Opposite of B, negative 120, plus or minus the square root, which we know is 118.66 over 2 times negative 16. So it's negative 32. Then I add and divide, and I get a positive answer, just not a very big one, okay? You get 0.04, then you subtract, click equals and divide, 7.46. Now both of those are legitimate times, so I'm going to put them both. Now,